to.
Okay, this is just a quick little video. I want to review the GOP debate that went on last night regarding national security. As you all know, I'm a Ron Paul supporter, so I'm going to concentrate mainly on what he did, although I was pleasantly surprised by some of the other candidates. We'll get to that in just a minute. The two key issues that Ron Paul was talking about and that drew the most ire from the other candidates, and I was very surprised, were the Patriot Act and the TSA. Almost without exception, the other candidates were all in favor of continuing the Patriot Act just the way it is, if not making it even more intrusive into people's lives. They're saying strengthening the Patriot Act. The Patriot Act has been one of the worst things that ever came out of the 9/11 situation, because it gives the government almost unlimited power to intrude upon people's personal lives, anything in the name of security. So, Ron Paul's stance on this is that we should not give up our personal civil liberties under any circumstances for any amount of security. So he was probably the only one, maybe with the exception of Jon Huntsman, who's actually starting to grow on me a little bit as possibly a vice presidential candidate. And then, of course, the TSA. And we all know what's going on with them as far as groping and manhandling people going through the airport. And that comes down to pretty much the same thing as the Patriot Act. How much of our civil liberties are we willing to give away in the name of security? Now, the Patriot Act can probably only be implemented with really good, sound evidence against someone, or at least some suspicions. But as far as the TSA is concerned, they're pretty much they frisk and they manhandle everyone indiscriminately on God knows why. We certainly don't want to profile anyone, but the bigger issue is, what are we willing to give up in order to save lives? And if somebody wanted to blow up an airplane, why wouldn't they just as easily go and blow up a shopping mall or a train depot or a bus depot or something like that? A lot of the other candidates are big on saying, we'll do anything to fight the war on terror and to save lives. But by that same token, where would it end? As I posted earlier, actually on Ron Paul's website, if you go on there, you'll probably see that quote attributed to me, that if we all drove around in Nerf cars that only went 30 miles an hour and we all wore body armor, nobody would ever die in an auto accident. But that would just be a ridiculous thing to do, and to go to that length would be ridiculous. So yes, there's lengths we could go to save everyone's life every minute of the day if we wanted to live in a police state. And so Ron Paul's not willing to do that. He sticks strictly to the Constitution and says that no one should have to have their life intruded upon. So unfortunately, I think it probably wasn't his best night from the observer's point of view, because he was really a lone wolf out there, as far as almost no one agreed with him on most of his points. And as far as staying out of other countries, nobody seems to understand that if we weren't involved in other people's business to the degree that we are, we wouldn't be a target for foreign countries. So what we want to do is, and I agree with it 100%, is just stay out of other people's business and not be an isolationist, which is what everybody calls Ron Paul, but being non-interventionist, which means if you mess with us, then we will come and we'll take care of business, get it over with, and get out. But we're not just going to build up, the military industrial complex so that, for the most part, Republicans, I'm an independent, although I'm registered as a Republican strictly so I can vote for Ron Paul in the primary, for their benefit. And trust me, there's no other doubt about it. The fear mongering that went on during that debate was ridiculous. To believe what we heard last night, you would think that we're in the threat of being bombed every minute of every day. There's terrorists in Canada, there's terrorists in Mexico. Everybody in the world wants to kill us, and I just don't believe that that's true. There certainly are viable threats out there, but I don't think that it's quite as bad as they think. The biggest risk to our national security right now is the economy. but that's something that I will address in a different video. Okay, thank you. Have a great day. Vote Ron Paul. If you haven't already registered to vote in the primary, do it quick. Your time's running out.